It's from moorlands such as these that water flows from streams into rivers and rivers into reservoirs. But delivering high-quality drinking water to homes and businesses across the northwest of England and preserving the local wildlife doesn't happen on its own. In 2005, a unique partnership programme was developed between United Utilities, who manage this land, and the RSPB. By working together, the organisations have created an imaginative solution to the problems facing wildlife and the delivery of water quality. They've called it SCaMP, the Sustainable Catchment Management Programme. How the uplands are managed, whether it's for farming or leisure, has a major environmental impact on water quality and local wildlife. SCaMP is a £10 million project designed to improve the condition of land across 2 of United Utilities estates. Now, much of this land is already designated as sites of special scientific interest, and the long-term plans are this: to turn the dream of a wildlife-rich landscape that's the source for the finest quality drinking water into reality. The SCaMP vision is clear. The SSSIs are some of the region's most important areas for both wildlife and people, and the target for them is to be in prime condition. The stunning landscape and vital habitats, such as blanket bog and heather moorland, will return. There will be a halt to the decline in birds such as the twite and hen harrier. Improvements to raw water quality will be introduced. Economically viable farming to help maintain and enhance special habitats and wildlife will be in place. And the opportunity to fully support farming through farm plans will be in position. United Utilities and the RSPB realised that management and farming on the uplands required urgent action. The eroded gullies, exposed peat, overgrazed land and reduction in woodlands were all having a detrimental effect on the local environment. But changes on this scale don't happen overnight. SCaMP has been working with farmers, tenants and land managers to develop innovative long-term plans for the future. Now, this involves restoration, diversification and alternative livestock and grazing options, all designed to implement the SCaMP ideals. SCaMP has targeted 2 estate areas within the United Utilities region. The Peak District, particularly at Longdale and Goyt, and to the north at the Forest of Bowland. The programme is being applied to 45 farm holdings in the designated areas, and this covers some 20,000 hectares of land.
We've chosen these 2 estate areas, the southern area and the Bowland area, primarily for the state of the SSSIs. We have some of the worst condition SSSIs, particularly in the south area, and we're looking to work with our partners, the RSPB, Natural England, and our tenants, to get them into favourable condition and regenerate them, and also to meet some of our biodiversity action plan targets.
This is Goyt in the Peak District, where teams of environmental specialists have already been hard at work. Now, what they've been doing here is re-wetting the peat by blocking up artificial drains, and this process is called grip blocking. Several techniques are being used, and here you can see they've driven plastic sheets into the ground to block up the flow of water. This helps back it up and disperses it across the landscape. Techniques like this will encourage the return of active blanket bogs, which provide rich conditions for wildlife. For SCaMP to reach its long-term targets, work like this is vital. The breadth of SCaMP work is varied and includes the restoring of hay meadows, the restoring of heather moorland, re-establishing clough woodland, construction of new farm buildings for indoor wintering of livestock, additional fencing to keep livestock away from streams, rivers and special habitats, and new waste management storage facilities to reduce the risk of pollution of watercourses. A key objective of SCaMP is to re-establish woodlands, especially in the streamside cloughs. Over 60,000 trees, mostly oak, have already been planted, and a further 250,000 trees will be planted across the designated catchment area.
Our role in Natural England is to protect and enhance the wildlife and conservation interest of landscapes like the Woodland Fells. And we've been really pleased to work with United Utilities on the SCaMP project to look for opportunities to recreate upland woodland, a biodiversity action plan habitat that's really missing from the fells. And through the whole farm plans, we've been able to identify the correct locations to fund the planting of new woodlands in the valley floor and up the valley sides, which will add structure and wildlife interest for years to come.
The failure to maintain favourable conditions for the SSSIs across United Utilities estates has largely been due to overgrazing. An urgent change to farming practices is a necessity. SCaMP has identified that all farms entering the project need to have long-term plans to support its ideals. Now, the plans have been drawn up by United Utilities and RSPB staff with help and support from Natural England, the Forestry Commission, local authorities and many other local organisations. The plans focus on land management and habitat restoration.
So John, just looking through the different livestock management areas, we've got number 2.
They've been tailored to meet the needs of livestock grazing and other farming activities to ensure a sustainable future.
We now think it's a very good habitat because for winter.
Diversification has also been considered, and for many farms, investment will be made available for new buildings such as lambing and cattle sheds, as well as, where appropriate, specialist farm machinery.
Maybe bracken or ragwort and things like that that I'm sure will spring up in these fenced areas.
Yes, I mean, I think
Well, for decades now, the Common Agricultural Policy has dictated the way farmers have to farm to remain profitable. Behind us, in the uplands, that means maximising the number of sheep. But that comes at a cost to the environment. You can see we've lost the heather moorland, it's been replaced by grass, so we've lost some of the wildlife. SCaMP is asking farmers to make a cultural shift and to become land managers and to be paid to produce a range of public goods, good quality water, landscapes, wildlife, good quality soils. Now, to do that, by joining the agri-environment schemes, that provides the annual payments for recognising that role of farmers, and being managers of the land keeps them profitable.
Farm plans are pivotal to the success of SCaMP, and the take-up by tenant farmers has been highly positive. The teams who have supported farmers so far will continue to do so, and with the help of land agents, government and environmental grant aid and the SCaMP partners, sustainable land management is truly achievable.
Initially, when I heard about SCaMP, I must admit I was a little bit sceptical. It has been explained. We've looked at the maps, we've gone through it with my land agents, and you know, we've kicked it about a fair bit, and the more I look into it, I think we can make it work. If you like, I'm a tenant of this farm. My father was my grandfather year back, and I look on this farm as my own, and I farm it as my own. We chaps in these hills are the custodians of these hills, and we look after it as well as we can. And I think that SCaMP hopefully will help us to look after it even better.
The vision is clear. work is underway and tenant farmers across the Peak District and the Forest of Woodland are on board. SCaMP is a long-term initiative that will physically change the rural landscape, and extensive monitoring and research is being carried out to measure the effectiveness of the work being done. The programme promotes catchment management, which benefits wildlife, whilst at the same time delivers safe and secure water supplies from here at the source and the uplands all the way through to the reservoirs. And not only that, a whole host of birds, wildlife and flora will soon flourish to restore a natural balance through essential conservation. So from hilltop to tap, SCaMP is working together for the benefit of wildlife and water.